Okay, so last session we have come up with this introduction to database, and in this introduction we have discussed the complete mm, overview of how we organize data in computers, drawbacks of file system, what is file system, what is database, types of databases, what is called DBMS, types of DBMS. All this stuff we have discussed in my last session. Today, we are going to study about RDBMS, Introduction to RDBMS. That is Relational Database Management System. Okay. Now, as I already said in my last session, once again I repeat, connecting with RDBMS, there are lots of things to study, and it is such a topic that can be discussed days together. It's so vast. But as far as introduction to this RDBMS is concerned, we are going to highlight this, describing with four important points as far as introduction is concerned. And the rest of the topics of RDBMS, we are going to study with the practicals in my coming classes. Okay. And one more important thing, as far as this introduction is concerned, about this RDBMS, I'm going to describe this topic categorizing it into two things. Categorizing it into two things. What are they? One is about the introduction, and second is about components of RDBMS. Two things are highlighted in this session. Okay. Now, first point to describe is about RDBMS, which you always write R plus DBMS. R plus DBMS. And in this, when I use this word R, it stands for technical. Technical expansion of R is referential. What is it called? Referential. What is referential? It is one of the concepts in something called integrity constraint. So we have this topic to learn, called integrity constraints. So in that integrity constraints topic, we are going to learn different categories of constraints. In the different categories of constraints, there is something to study by called referential. There is something to study about what? Referential. So what exactly it is, we are going to discuss that in detail in my coming classes. Separate topic we have about this constraints, and in that topic I'm going to discuss about referential integrity constraint. What for it is used? Yes, let us expand again. Referential is used for creating relationships. Yes, mainly referential is used for what? Creating relationships. What relationships that it supports now? Answer is three relationships it supports. This is one, this is two, this is three. Three relationships. And how you describe them now? One relationship is called one-to-one relationship. Second is called one-to-many relationship. And third is called many-to-many relationship. Three types of relationship. One-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many. Three are there. And among these three, this and this, that is one to one and one to many, these two we have for direct implementation, and many to many we have for indirect implementation. Yes, two things are there: direct implementation for one to one and one to many. We have a practical support, I mean to say, practical implementation we are going to learn here. And many to many, we have its indirect implementation. Actually, no RDBMS supports many to many relationship. No RDBMS supports many to many relationship. Till you need it, then it can be achieved in indirect way, not direct. There is an indirect support. Okay, so that too how indirect support, that too how does it indirect support? Yes, that is practical orientation of our subject. Okay, and again, something important is, remember, when it comes to RDBMS, yes, when it comes to RDBMS, remember, RDBMS was introduced in the year 1970 by Dr. E. F. Cord. He is the one who has introduced the concepts of what? RDBMS. And what he has done, Dr. E. F. Cord, and he has outlined 12 rules called Cord's rules. What are they called? Cord's rules. He has outlined how many rules? 12 rules. What are those rules called? Cord's rules. And what did he say? That any database software satisfies 8 or 8.5 rules, then it can be considered as pure RDBMS. Yes. How many rules I'm saying? So make this point even very clear. Initial, when RDBMS, when it was introduced in 1970, it was 12 rules. Later, it has been added by one more rule. Today we have 13 rules. Initially it was 12. Now a new rule is also added in Cord's rules. So what is the standard limit he has set is, among the 12 Cord's rules, database software should satisfy 8 or 8.5 rules. Database software should satisfy how many? 8 or 8.5 rules. Then only you can consider that software as pure RDBMS. That software is considered as what? pure RDBMS. And if you look into this rules, SQL Server, I mean to say our subject, out of 12 COTS rules, it satisfies 10 COTS rules. 10 is more than 8, fine. So pure RDBMS. Oracle, which is a product of Oracle Corporation, satisfies 11 and a half COTS rules. So that is also more than 8. So pure RDBMS. And if you go to other RDBMS softwares, all comes under category of pure RDBMS, except one, that is MS Access, which is one of the components of MS Office. It satisfies only, MS Access satisfies only 6 COTS rules. MS Access satisfies only 6 COTS rules. So it is the only one which is called semi or partial RDBMS. Semi or partial RDBMS. Okay. And remaining all comes under what? Pure RDBMS. Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, DB2, Sybase, Teradata. These all comes under category of what? Pure RDBMS. Now, going further on the same subject, what we learn is, remember, every RDBMS, it doesn't matter whether it is semi RDBMS or it is pure RDBMS. Every RDBMS always presents data, okay, in two-dimensional format. So RDBMS always presents data in two-dimensional format, that is matrix format, that is rows and columns, called what? Table. That is called what? Table, rows and columns. And you know one thing, this rows, columns, table, these three, from one RDBMS to other RDBMS, terminology differs. Like, let me explain. Especially columns. In SQL Server, no doubt, columns only we have a term. No change of term. But in other RDBMS, columns are called fields. In some RDBMS, they are called attributes. And in some RDBMS, they are called identifiers. Yes. These are the three terminologies that are used in other RDBMS. But all are referring to what? Columns only. Similarly, rows. Rows. In some RDBMS, they are called records. In some RDBMS, they are called tuples. Same way, table is also called by different terminologies. Table, in some RDBMS, they are called object. In some RDBMS, they are called entity. In some RDBMS, they are called relation. Object, entity, relation. These are the these are the three uh, points that are expressed with different terminologies in different RDBMS. Okay, and let me just highlight how is that SQL Server identifies them. I'll just underline them so that you can understand it. This is the term we use for column. This is the term we use for rows, same. But table, SQL Server calls object. Yes. So table, in SQL Server is called what? Object. Okay. And now going further, something very important is about representation of data. Now we will highlight this. Fourth, here we learn RDBMS always represents data in normalized way. Yes, that would indirectly lead to normalization. And make this point very clear, this is exclusively a topic that is meant for designing, designing of database, designing of database. So here in normalization, in normalization, we are going to normalize the tables. We are going to split the tables into multiple tables based on some rules. Based on some rules. What are they called? Normal forms. A table can be normalized in different ways, often called normal form. Yes. So there are different ways to normalize a table. As I said now, that this is purely a design part. This is purely a practical orientation part. And make this point even very clear. Every database, every database, whichever is used in real time, 100% it will be containing normalized data. Normalized data. Because normalization always makes few things very much highlighted. Normalization. What are they? One, one, it will avoid redundancy concept. Normalization will avoid redundancy concept, and normalization also provides always retrieval of data with efficiency, efficient way of retrieving data, efficiency. That is one more part to read the content. So how to deal with normalization? How do you work on it? How many? And one more thing, what are those normal forms? Let me talk on this first, then I'll get back to it. First normal form, 1NF. Then we have second normal form, that is called 2NF. Third normal form, that is called 3NF. Then we have Boyce Codd normal form, BCNF. Fourth normal form, 4NF. Fifth normal form, 5NF. Yes, altogether these are your normal forms. First normal form, second normal form, third normal form, Boyce Codd normal form, fourth normal form, fifth normal form. These all are what? Normal forms. And you know one thing, we are going to study our maximum usage among all these normal forms in real time could go up to three normal forms. Maximum. We can have up to three normal forms. 1NF, 2NF, 3NF. Purely designed, but every normal form has some set of rules. First normal form is consisting of two rules. Second normal form is consisting of two rules. Third normal form is consisting of some set of rules. So until as we don't know those rules, we cannot normalize the table. Until as you're not aware of those rules or those important points, we may not be in a position to normalize the tables. And one more interesting thing here is remember what is that important point is, in order to learn normalization, the prerequisite is you should have a thorough knowledge on constraints. Thorough knowledge on what you said? Constraints. So you should know what is primary key. You should know what is foreign key. You should know what is candidate key. You should know what is unique key. You should know what is composite unique key. So until and unless you don't have knowledge on these constraints, it will be difficult to understand normalization. So once you know thoroughly all the practical implementation of this what do you call RDBM of about the constraints, uh, easily you can manage. Easily you can manage. Okay. So what did I say now? So what is compulsory topic you should know now to understand normalization? Constraints. All constraints. What is the example I gave? Primary key, candidate key, foreign key, unique key, composite unique key. These all things are needed for us for normalization. Only when you know all these things, then it will be easy for you to design your database with normalization, because the rules are important for us. According to the rules, we are going to make our designing part. Right. Next important part to discuss is about components of RDBMS. Let's see. Yes, next part is about the component. Yes, and remember, the first component that we would learn here is we find collection of objects to store and present data in rows and columns. So here, now what we learn is whether you have one object or you have multiple objects, right? All will have presentation of data always in one format, always in one format. That is presenting data in the form of rows and columns. Collection of objects to store and present the data in what? Rows and columns. I used the word objects. Means within one object also your data is in rows and columns. Whether it is multiple objects also data is in rows and columns. And one more interesting thing is whether it is partial RDBMS or it is pure RDBMS. In both categories of RDBMS, data is always presented in rows and columns only, whether it is any type of RDBMS. Partial also will have, and pure RDBMS also will have data. Presentation, which format you said? Yeah, table format, rows and column format. And something important now about second component of RDBMS. Second component is, remember, we are going to learn our subject practically with something called operator. Okay, let me write here. Set of operators. Okay, what we do, these operators, we are going to apply, are applied. Set of operators are applied. Like usually when I use this word operators, we are known with it, like, we have something called, relational operators, logical operators, arithmetic operators. And because these are applied on database, we got few more additional operators to apply now. We call them as special operators, combination of special operators with not. Then we have something called set operators. So we got some exclusive operators that are supported, exclusive operators, special operators that are supported. What is their job? Then you can say set of operators are applied on one or more relations. That is, you mean to say tables. Okay, always produces new table. Yes. What does it mean? That we are going to apply operators. Where do we apply operators? On one or more tables. One table also we apply operators, multiple tables also we are going to apply the operator. And when you apply those operators on it, on one or more tables, that will always produce you with what? That will always produce you with what? New table. Always produces new table. That is what happens in the components of what? RDBMS. And again, something important now is RDBMS has one more important factor. Important factor. What is it? Data accuracy in RDBMS. Data accuracy in RDBMS will be through two concepts. Means we are going to achieve data accuracy in RDBMS. Okay, so how do you achieve data accuracy? How you are going to have accurate data? So you read like this now: data accuracy in RDBMS through what? Two concepts. One, data consistency and data integrity. Yes, these are the two concepts because of which, or using these two concepts, we are always going to have accuracy in our data in RDBMS because of these two concepts. Yesterday, in my demonstration class, I was talking about drawbacks of file system. In the drawbacks of file system, I have mentioned, or I went with an explanation on a term called data inconsistency. I discussed about a term called data inconsistency. Today I'm talking about data consistency. So you are going to achieve data accuracy, data accuracy through what? Data consistency. And what is the other term we use? Data integrity. So connecting with the data integrity and data consistency in SQL Server, there are many topics available for practical orientation. So practically we can justify what it means, what they are represented for. What do you mean by that? Many topics. I'm not saying like one, two. We have many topics to justify that. So we are going to see practical orientation of all these three components in SQL Server. So whenever I take up that practical part, I definitely will correlate. Before I go with explanation, I'll correlate that practical, how it was connected with theoretical concepts of components to RDBMS. Yes, this is the introduction part of RDBMS. As I once again already said, once again I repeat, this is not the complete or in-depth of introduction of RDBMS, because as I already said you, it is not possible to discuss all the concepts of RDBMS in introduction class, because few things of RDBMS are purely dependent on practical part. So in practical part, we will study it in detail. That's it. Yeah, you have any questions to ask me on this? Please, you can unmute your mic or you can use your chat panel and you can forward your query. Yeah, Mahesh Reddy, Gangadhar, any queries you have?